Hey guys, Jamiy, and today, as you can see, we are back on the tier list because I've had quite a few requests for me to make a video like this, going over what I personally think the PvP is going to turn out with the totem update. So again, I want to quickly mention at the beginning of the video that this is just my prediction, this isn't like actual facts, but just like for my prediction, and also in like a couple of weeks when we get to see like the people all start getting their totem Loomians ready for PvP, we'll see actually like what the best of the best are. But honestly, like I said, this is just a prediction, I could be completely wrong, don't take this video as like 100% facts, this is just like my personal opinions. Also, like I said, I've almost used like basically every Loomian now. There's a couple that I haven't used, actually I think I've used all of them, just that some of them I use more than others, so I can't really like state anything too insane on them, but obviously with a few buffs and nerfs to certain things, we might potentially see something. So let's start straight away with one of the strongest Loomians in the metagame right now, which is probably Cinamaroon, and I'd probably put it in S+, just because it's the best in this metagame right now. Obviously, everyone's talking about this. I haven't really looked at too many people's tier lists. I skimmed through a couple of them. I want to mostly for this to be my own personal opinion and like predictions on what this metagame could potentially turn into this update. Cinamaroon is probably going to be one of the best. It gets access to hasty, boosting its attacks for accuracy in exchange for also lower accuracy on those moves. So your Earthquake, for example, is going to do more damage, but it's not 100%. But it gets sharpened to deal with that. So also one sharpen, you get more attack, and you deal with your accuracy problem. Also as well, on top of that, now you have Rejuvenate to heal your Cinamaroon, and Cinamaroon like has some fairly good bulk, so it is pretty scary. Also getting access then to Earthquake and Raging Tackle, some of the best hardest hitting moves in the game. So yeah, Cinamaroon is up there. I'm going to talk about Trumbull next because obviously people think it's really good, and people think that it didn't really get it should have got nerfed more than where it actually did. So I'm going to put this on S. I don't think it's S+ anymore. I think Cinamaroon is the new broken. It's not really broken, it's just the fact that nothing in the game right now can really deal with it, but we'll get into it in a minute. Trumbull also did get nerfed, but I don't think it's really like anything too good. Well, I don't think it's like gonna stop people from using it. Trumbull is still gonna be really good. It's just that obviously got a small nerf just to see how it goes. If it is still too strong, which I guess people are still gonna use it, I feel like people actually might bring along Cinamaroon and Trumbull. That's going to be a sight to see, obviously. It'll be great. But yeah, Trumbull I still think is going to be really good, and I think that's probably going to be it for the S+ and the S category. Also, I'm not really too sure what I'll have like for like what the baseline is for like good. I'm probably going to like say C or B. It's probably like where it starts like they're okay, and then get also anything higher than that is really good. Anything lower than that is like eh. So yeah, I might not even have enough tiers, we might end up actually adding some, so keep that in mind. Anyway, on to the next thing. I guess we'll do starters next. Personally, I think this is actually the update where all of the starters are probably like actually all usable. Same for the Roamings. The Roamings actually have access now to some good moves that actually benefit them. So we'll talk about the starters first, which also I'm trying to look for Seer Knight. I don't think Seer Knight's like a good choice to like pick first, but I'll use it anyway. Also, Seer Knight used to be like one of the top threats. It's been one of the top threats since the game basically came out. Same with like Tatab, Zulong, Himber was like up there for a little bit, then it dropped a little bit. I don't think Seer Knight is as good as it once was. Obviously with the rise of Cinamaroon and Borok still being good, it has another competition now for the metagame. Obviously getting access to resist Sorchi is going to be really good. People actually might run Sorchi. People say Sorchi is completely useless now. It's not. It's still really good. It hits really hard, and it's easier to get into the battle now. Just a couple of things resisted. That's all. So yeah, I think Seer Knight's going to be really good still. I don't think I'm going to put it super high-low, but just have like some pretty new things that it can actually do. It's one of the only few Loomians that can actually tank. Sorchi's hits really reliable, but I don't think it's going to be super high for the one reason that fire types I think are going to get a little bit of there's basically more fire types that people might actually end up using. So obviously Seer Knight is your heavy hitting melee attacker that also can tank pretty well, at least on the defensive melee side. Next up planet we have is going to be Illuminami. Illuminami I think is actually going to be pretty good. Again, I don't really know how high I would put it. I'm probably going to leave it here. just for the fact that also lights did get a small nerf with the fact that now plant types are now immune to light types, so also Loomian struggles even more now with light types, especially for like Tatab and stuff. So yeah, so definitely gonna be pretty punishing. I still think it's gonna be pretty good though, but I'd probably stick Loomian in here. It's just more harder now to deal with the plant types. So Loomian, nothing really too much to say about it. It does get Flash and Flee, so it could actually benefit from that a lot. I might be a bit too harsh with it. It could actually be A tier maybe. I'm gonna stick it here for now. Again, I might move these down a little bit if I think something's between like S and A. I might just add a new tier between S and A and just call them on onwards. Next up plan we have is Tatab, when I find it here. Tatab I think is still really good. I'm gonna probably put Tatab in A still. Tatab has always been like a pretty major threat. Also, now it's weak to Mind, which I don't think... No. Yeah, it's weak to Mind now. No, Mind resists it, that's what I'm trying to say. Mind resists it now, so it's got like another couple of things that I might have to deal with, but again, Duskit was already immune to it. Pharoglyph can't really take too many melee hits, and Sorchi, I guess Sorchi could potentially like live 2 of them if it TP trains for it, so I guess it's got to worry about that. But now, obviously with the type changes, it does hit metal now super effective, so Steven Knight actually has to worry about it now, and it doesn't have to run Mud Splatter if you want to. I think what most people are actually going to run on it is Jungle Jutsu, the Bushwhack, the melee move, even though Nature's Force is better and it hits harder. And apparently people are going to run Toxic Tail and then something like Poison as like fourth move. It can be swapped out, obviously it's interchangeable. But also another big one is that Tatab also now threatens itself, kind of like similar how Zulong threatens itself. Basically whatever faster Zulong goes first is going to KO the other one, because Elemental Burst is super effective against itself. It's in the same situation as Tatab now. Also, now Brawler is super effective. Oh no, Brawler is weak to Poison, so Toxic is super effective against Brawler now. So also that means Tatab now is 4 times weak to Poison, which means since it runs Toxic Tail, it can KO itself. So Speed is going to be pretty keen. So I wonder if people might not actually run Nimble and Brawny, even though it is the better one, to run very Nimble just to outspeed each other. I'm hoping not, because Nimble Brawny is probably better. But yeah, it's going to be interesting for Tatab. But I'd say it's pretty like up there for A tier. I'll put there. Also again, plant types could be pretty good in this meta game. Next up, I guess we have one is the other 4 starters. Himber, I think is fine. Also resisting the type plus is going to be great, but doesn't really get like any recovery still, like health wise, but I still think it'll be pretty good. There are also more fire types now in this meta game that I would imagine again towards in a minute. So it's still got to worry about them. So I don't think it's like super optimal, but again, I could be just forgetting something or like just underrating it a little bit. It might actually be really good. I will try it eventually when I actually get my hands on one. Other than that, we have Zulong. I'm actually going to put all the starters here right now just so I can actually see them. Zulong, I can't find them. Vesperatu, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm missing Valkyrie. Where's Valkyrie? I can't. Oh, there is Valkyrie. Okay, then. So then, Vesperatu, I'm actually going to put in A. I think this is actually going to be pretty good. Again, I might be a little overestimating this one, because again, the fire types are going to be basically, because of the plant type buff for light types, plant types are going to be more usable, which also in turn means that fire types are going to be a little bit more usable, and some of them actually are, like Tricolour, are going to be pretty good now, so I guess we'll see. But Vesperatu I think is going to be really good for the fact that it is very versatile. It can run very nimble if you really want to. I wouldn't really imagine people would do that, but it's Loomian Legacy. A lot of people can run whatever they want. But also there's a lot of sets. There's very nimble, there's nimble brawny, there's very brawny if you really want to. There's robust, there's clever, there's very robust. Like, there's so much it can do. It's very quick, it can hit very hard no matter what. It can be very defensive with revival and blood drain, so that could be like a really good stall tactic for some teams. So yeah, since Vesperatu can fill in like quite a lot of slots on teams, I want to say it's versatile enough to like, actually be pretty darn good. Again, might be overestimating a little bit. If anything, I'd probably say I'm overestimating Tatab a little bit. I might honestly just move these down a tier, to be honest. Like, I might be like doing that. Anyway, next up we're going to talk about is Valkyrie. which I think people are actually stating might be the best starter now. For the fact that it gets Flash on Flee, which is pretty good. People are probably going to run a speeder set for that. But it also gets Rejuvenate, which I can't really see it running right now. I feel like a heavy hitter that's pretty quick might be better for it, but people might try and run bulky sets, but in this metagame right now with the fire types, like I said, might not be the best, and obviously with the light type getting nerfed now for plants, it's got to worry about them, so not really too sure, but people are saying that it's the best starter. Personally, I want to say Vesperatu might be the best one, but I'll let people see where they think. I will eventually get a Valkyrie, and I'll try it out. Right now, I think the normal personality is better than the secret ability, mostly for the fact that the secret ability doesn't really do much right now. The only thing that runs terrifying to drop stats is Seer Knight. You also can run it, but Sharp Claws is way better. Zulong could Ancient Raw, that's basically it, so yeah, nothing really too much. I think the normal ability is probably better. And finally, Zulong, I'm actually going to put down in B tier. I think this is probably one of the first times that Zulong really isn't like... It's not like it's not up to par, it's just that I think through like all of the nerfs, like more bulky things coming out, and more things can actually take hits from it, and can now heal without just worrying about chip damage. I think Zulong's pretty like, not really like fallen off, but like, it's not as good as it once was, like I said. Zulong's like pretty good for coming in late game, cleaning up gain from all of like the previous turns where everything's just being chipped. That's where Zulong excels. With now all the like tankier Loomians that have now healing moves, Zulong can't really do that job as well, especially the totems making things even tankier, and Zulong obviously, it depends really what situation it falls into. If a lot of people are going to run it, it's going to run very nimble, just for the fact that, again, Zulong kills Zulong. Whoever goes first is going to be the winner of that match. So yeah, if a lot of people don't run Zulong, I can see people running Nimble and Smart, which I have one of each now. I'm hoping that it has enough damage just to like get through a couple of tanks, we'll have to see, but basically I think Zulong isn't like one of the best starters anymore. They're still really good, but I think these three might be a little bit better for this specific metagame. Again, I could actually put Tatab down, but I think these two are like the kings right now, the starters. Tatab I would say like a pretty close thirds. Killing, moving on then. I guess we'll do the Roamers first then, because I know that a lot of people are going to talk about them, and also throw Pharoglyph up here as well, since this is the new one. Where's Ikazune? Oh, there it is, okay. So then, Dusket getting, obviously, the new broken sleeping move, Hypnotize. It will be nerfed in the next change. All that we're going to do for it is, mine types will be immune to it, same for how the Sleep Spore move that Cinamaroon gets, plant types are immune to it. So that's basically all it's going to do. So yeah, it might be not enough of a nerf, we might have to like see, might decrease the accuracy a little bit if it is too powerful, we'll see. But anyway, Dusket I want to put B. I want to put it on A to be honest, but I don't think it's up to A. I'm going to put it in B. Putting things to sleep is very good, obviously. And then also from its ability, secret ability, I know Press doing a lot of damage. And also getting now Flabbergast from your boy Pharoglyph down here is pretty good. I do think it's going to struggle though. I think Yourstow is going to be pretty popular, even though I don't think it's going to be like super good. And also it one-shots it, so yeah. But I do think Dusket is going to be pretty annoying to deal with. So instead of also running Final Ruse, people are just going to run Hypnotize, which is also going to be pretty annoying. But again, I could also be underestimating this. It could actually be higher on this list. But that is where I'm going to actually put Ikazune. I think Ikazune might be a little bit better than Dusket. Again, I might have these backwards. I will say that right now. I might have them backwards. Also, it's probably going to be a pretty long video. I apologize about that. But I think Ikazune getting Flash and Flee might be a little bit better. It can dip out of battles. That's like one of the hardest parts about Ikazune is that it comes in, it does a lot of damage, but if there's something that it just hard walls it, for example Obsidian, it couldn't really do anything to Obsidian. Now, it has Flash and Flee. It can get out of there, and it can hit that pretty hard. So I think Ikazune is going to be pretty darn good. Again, I might actually put it down here with Dusket, to be honest. If anything, I'd say Dusket goes up, to be honest. But yeah, Ikazune can hit hard, and now it has like a swap out move, which is also really good. So, going to be interesting to see what that does. Anyway, Pharoglyph. Also, this one's pretty new. I've only done like really one video on it, going for a sweep. It seems really strong. For the temper, speedy like offensive set, not the melee set, the Idio one, I don't think it's really worth running that right now until it gets more melee moves. But the specialist set, or the range set, with temper, I think is actually going to be really, really good. I'm going to put it on par with this. It is a mine type. Mine types might be one of the best types in the game still. Could easily go to A low, or it could easily go down depending on how it goes. Again, it has very low melee attack, and with people running Cinamaroon and stuff like that, that are all like primarily melee attackers, it could struggle in that department, but I think it can definitely like perform. Again, I feel like most people are going to run Peace of Mind, free attacks moves, free attacks, and we'll see how well it goes, I guess. So yeah, again, it's going to be pretty interesting to see what it actually does. Next up plan, I guess we'll just go through by route. So route 1 we're going to go through is the rats and Umbra. So I did actually just steal this one from someone else's tier list, I think it was IEats. The reason why people are actually putting these super low is because Eclipse completely outshines both of them. I mean, it just does. It's got a better ability and it's both of the types. It does basically the exact same thing, but better. The reason why Luxor is super, super low is for the fact that it doesn't do anything now. And now it's even weaker because plant types are immune to it. But plus Umbra above that, which before this update, it was actually backwards. Umbra was actually worse than Luxor, but because of this new immunity, people are putting Luxor below Umbra, because also now Umbra can actually hit them at the very least. But for Eclipse, I don't think... Actually, I might need to make a new tier, to be honest. I'm going to make a new one really quickly. So what's after E, A, B, C, D, E, F? And we'll just pull out below. Oh, I named it wrong. No! No! Okay, E, and also this one will be F. Let me change it, man. Okay, F. I know this is kind of like a butch recording, but whatever. Anyway, S to F now. So also I'm going to move these down because I feel like I need an extra tier for these. So then, there's that. I am probably going to put Eclipse. I want to put actually in C or B, to be honest. Let me think about this. I want to actually put it in B. The reason why is because I think Eclipse is still going to be pretty darn good. The fact that also people are going to use like still a few dark type moves. Light type might be a little bit shallower. Actually, I will put it in C. I think it can definitely be B. Again, might be underestimating this, but with the new introduction to plants that are now immune to light, I think it's got a lot more to deal with now, especially stuff like Florence. Swalder now has a healing move, so you can swap into it, take a little bit of damage and heal it off while it swaps out or something, get a fat parasitize on something. So the bug types are going to be pretty interesting as well, especially the light types as well. So yeah, Luxor, Umbra, pretty useless. We might make a change to them in the future, hopefully making them a little bit better, but I can't really see them being like completely usable in the metagame anymore. Mostly like kind of meme stuff to use, but yeah. Luxor I think is worse, but I still think it's really good, especially on the right teams, obviously. Next up I guess we could do is Cinamaroon, since that is also on Route 1, and Avatros. So then for Avatros and Cinamaroon, I'm going to put Cinamaroon low tier. I think it's very low. It's not really going to really do much in this update. Can't really see it. Also, its gimmick is now universal for mine types as well, basically. It's not the only thing that can put things to sleep now, so it's basically lost its gimmick, and better things can put it to sleep now. Avatros, I think, will actually be pretty darn good. I'm going to put it in C as well. Again, with also like the new plant types getting a buff, and the fire types also then wanting to get like healing moves. They definitely like can fit on the right teams. I don't think it'll be like super amazing, but I think Avatros will be pretty darn good, especially against like the fire types, obviously. So yeah, I think it'll be pretty darn good. Borok, I want to put Borok in A, just for the fact that again, it can deal with the new plant types that are going to get like a resurgence basically. It can still hit the fire type super effectively, so I think Borok is going to definitely love this one. Again, Cinamaroon, basically Borok is like is fairly similar to Cinamaroon. It's not as tanky low, but it's a little bit quicker, and the difference is basically is Borok has immediate power. It can't set up because it doesn't need to. You throw it out, it gets a boost, and then it hits something super hard straight away. So obviously, there's that, but again, it dies fairly quick against the wrong things. Sedimaz is like the opposite. I don't think it's going to be too difficult to set up now because it has a healing move, but once it gets going, Sedimaz is very unstoppable for a lot of teams. You have to kill it before it does too much. For Borok, you have to kill it. Like, I guess, you can kind of deal with Borok like late game, like yeah, you can also force it out, come back in later, and it also gets a boost drop, so Borok is probably a little bit easier to deal with than Sedimaz. Also my game just closed down, dang it. So yeah, but I think Borok is gonna be pretty good still. I'm gonna put it pretty high up there. Next up then, I guess we will talk about Gale Forest, which has Terrorfly, it has Swalder, and it has Florant. I don't think I'm missing any. So then, for these ones, we have Terrorfly. I still think Terrorfly is going to be still pretty darn good. Probably actually B tier. You're definitely going to see a lot of things. I actually might need another slot. I'll leave it as this for now, but I think I might need another one, but oh well. Terrorfly I think is going to be pretty darn good again. Babs, all this stuff like that. So I think it'll be pretty darn good to get a few more resistances. So yeah, I think it'll be decent. Gotta be careful now though, because Babs aren't really like super great anymore for the fact that there are gonna be more things that can potentially like get rid of them, like the fire types that get burned up, for example. But again, they do at least get poisoned if they come into them. Swalder I think is gonna be very close. I want to put it in B, and I think I'm going to, but right behind Terrorfly, if not like very on par with each other. Terrorfly can set up Babs, and it can also provoke, and then it can go for like its moves. It can hit very hard with Ambush. Ambush is like pretty important, especially for swapping out, which obviously it can do now with Eclipse. So Eclipse is like pretty good for that, which again, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of weird I'm putting Terrorfly above Eclipse, but again, I might be overestimating some stuff a little bit, I might be underestimating stuff a little bit. Swalder I think is going to be pretty good because it can do what Swalder can do without, but I guess it's tankier. Like, it doesn't hit as hard with Ambush, but again, Terrorfly sometimes can't really scare things out, so it's not exactly that great of an ability sometimes. But Swalder, it has webbings. It can come in, it can eat a hit pretty well now from melee attackers, lower their speed so it can potentially outspeed them, and also now it has a Rejuvenate and it can spread poison around. So it's basically just a tankier Swalder that can heal, but instead of also Babs getting rid of, it can just poison things itself, which also costs more energy, take up more turns, but it can reliably poison stuff. So I think Swalder is actually compatible now with Terrorfly for poisoning stuff, so I definitely like that. Again, I'm going to run a Swalder. It's probably going to be one of the first teams that I run, which might be today at some point. Next up plan, again, I want to keep mentioning, this is all like predictions. I might be completely wrong. For example, I hope that Eclipse is pretty good. I think it actually might be a lot higher than I'm putting it, but again, it's like, I'm not really sitting down before this and like thinking, okay, this is going to be really, really good. It's basically just me sitting down. I haven't really looked at any of the Loomians too much before this, for this beta game, thinking, okay, this might be good, this might not be good. Anyway, Route 3, we have Ragoon. We already did Borok. I don't know really why I jumped to Borok. I just kind of saw it and thought, yeah, Sedimaz 2.0 basically. Even though it came first. Sedimaz 1.0. So we've got Ragoon, we got Eliguana, and I think that's it. Also, we all did Avatros and Borok. So then, Ragoon I think is a little bit better than Umbra, and that's it. Honestly, it might even be on the same tier as Umbra. It could probably go there, but Ragoon, can't really see it doing much. It could potentially be like better than I think it is because also the plant types, but because all the plant types are getting good again, or becoming like popular, all the fire types are going to be as well. So yeah. Eliguana, I think is still going to be pretty darn good. I'm not going to put it on the same tier as these though. I'm going to put it on the same tier as like Eclipse. I don't think it's going to like do super great, but I can still definitely see it doing something like decent. Again, I feel like I'm definitely underestimating this one a little bit, thinking about it now. Anyway, that's Route 3. Route 4 is Gastroke, Chariki, Wiki, and Sorchi, and I think that is it. Yeah, that's it for Route 4. So then for Route 4, I would say that Florant, I want to put... Ooh, I'm really close to putting it here. Florant could be pretty good, but because it's weak to fire, being plants, I don't want to put it too high. Again, I do think it's like pretty decent low. I want to put it in B, but I'm going to put it like pretty far up in C, like very close to B potentially. Gasstroke I want to also put in C as well, to be honest. Wiki I think is going to like go down here somewhere. D, maybe E. I don't think it's going to be super good, but it can hypnotize something, I guess. But yeah, I think these two are going to be pretty darn good. Chartikalo, I'm actually going to put in B. Could actually be in A. I really want to put in A. I'm going to put in B low, pretty high up in B. Chariki is really good because it is one of the few checks that we have right now for Sedimars. It can eat earthquakes, it can take potentially like a couple of raging tackles, but it can also heal, set up scapegoat when you predict to heal, also now left to hit you a couple more times, and also it is super effective. So yeah, Chariki is really good, and like I said, it is one of the few checks. It's not a counter. Sedimars right now is pretty strong because it has no counters basically. Unless I guess you can put it to sleep, I guess that's pretty good. So maybe it isn't like as scary as people think with all the sleeping things, which by the way I should mention, don't put more than one opponent to sleep, okay, in this at one time. That's annoying. But yeah, Chariki, very strong. Sorchi I am going to put in C as well. I think Pharoglyph might outperform it for the fact that it can hit pretty hard, it can tank a lot better for the range side, and it's quicker. Sorchi hits way harder low. But again, Sorchi is pretty difficult to get into the battle, whereas Pharoglyph doesn't really suffer as much, but again, immediate power, whereas you kind of need to like set up for us to actually like deal damage, or it could just come in and do some damage immediately, hopefully get a temper boost and then just start steamrolling basically. So yeah, Sorchi I think is pretty damn good though still. Next up planet I guess is Route 5, which is Sedimars. We already did that, so I think actually that's it for Route 5. I think we already did all of Route 5 to be honest. So I'll combine Route 5 and Ignious Hollow together because also there's Ventation. So also the Fire Boys and Obsidian. So then, I'm going to put Obsidian down in D tier. Obsidian is still going to be pretty darn good. It's still a pretty good tank, but the thing that also why people use Obsidian was because it was the only thing that could heal. Nothing else in the game could heal other than Chariki, but you never really saw it because it never really needed to. I mean, Phantoms were like fairly weak, but also now Chariki is immune to light types. It can come in on to Eclipse if it really wants to. Not really too sure how effective that would be though, but it can if it really wants to, I guess. But yeah, Obsidian, it's not really that great anymore. More reliable healers are in effect right now, so still a good Loomian. I personally like it a lot. It is very like stallless, so I'm not like too keen on it a lot of times, but I do think it's like fairly reliable, but again, it is very slow. Other things can just out-heal it now, so I do think it's kind of like fallen off. Ventation, I'm actually going to put in C tier, just for the fact that it's basically the only other Loomian that can potentially check Sedimars, but I think Chariki does it a lot better. So yeah, Ventation I think is going to be pretty good. It also can tank and potentially burn Sedimars, but Sedimars can basically set upon it and infinitely heal, so you kind of like need to get really lucky with Ventation to actually beat it, so yeah. Not really like a counter, but it kind of gets like check and burn it potentially, so maybe we'll see. Volcaloa is F tier, it just is. Ancient types, there's better ancient types. Fire types, there's better fire types. It doesn't really do a lot of damage for its fire type moves. It only has like Earthquake and now also with beasts. Oh, what is it called? I think it's like Beast's Greed Beast or something like that. Beast's Greed. I want to say it's Beast Greed. I might be wrong though. It's basically something Greed. Oh, Savage Greed. That's what it's called. Savage Greed did get a buff, so it can hit a little bit harder on the ancient side, but I don't think it's really going to perform. It's too weak, really, like defensively to actually take hits. So it's either it has to KO the opponent or it dies, basically. Eruptodon, I'm going to put in C. I think Eruptodon is still going to nuke things, but I think Chariki might be the better one since it's getting scapegoats and it can heal itself. Eruptodon basically comes in, starts nuking straight away without the setup, so yeah, but again, its moves do cost pretty expensive, but again, I think it could be pretty good. I might be underestimating it a little bit. So yeah, and last up is Krakaloa actually, not Chariki, Krakaloa, which I want to actually put in B. Actually, I will. So yeah, that's the reason why I put Serenite. Serenite has always been one of the best starters, but I think this is the first time where it's not going to be as good because other fire types that are tanks are now actually feasible. They have healing moves, and Sea Knight just doesn't. Yeah, Sea Knight can set up and sweep in the right situations, but why do that when you can just stall stuff and potentially burn stuff with other fire type moves? So Krakaloa I think has been great, very tanky now since also got the stat buff quite a while ago. As a healing move, it can burn a lot easier now with Magma Burst because it's I think 20%. Sea Knight doesn't have that unless you run, I guess if you want to run the rapid fire, which isn't that great. Might look into it, we'll see, but I'm not really too sure. But yeah, Krakaloa I think is going to be pretty darn good. And last up I guess we'll do the Graveyard and the, gonna quick put all these in. I think is going to be the Graveyard and Route 6. So Your Soul I also want to put in B tier just for the fact that priority. This thing hits super hard and it's always going to go first with priority. It does KO itself, but it's going to be careful I guess. But I think it's going to be pretty darn good. So I guess we'll see. Again, might be a little overestimating this one because I personally want to use it and I personally want to see it do good because it's pretty cool in my opinion. Also, when Your Soul first got released, it was basically seen nowhere because it sucked, unfortunately. Next up we have Revenine. I want to put this one in D just for the fact that it doesn't really hit as hard as like the other fire types that are known for like nuking things. Like, it's quick, it's the quickest fire type I guess in the game, but I don't think that's that important. Being Spirit Fire type, I think there are just better fire types in the game that do its job better but for hitting things, and there's better Spirit types in the game, so I think Your Soul is just a better Spirit type to use, and Duskit. Duskit's also, actually I guess it is quicker now if you want to run very nimble, but I think you would probably want to run nimble and smart on it. And also, like, we have a lot of fire types already, that means that you probably don't really want to run it, to be honest. So I'm going to put it fairly low, but pretty high in D at the very least, if not like a very low C. Also, then next up we have Moochum, which I'm going to put in C, maybe B. Actually, it's probably better on B. It still nukes, it goes all reverted. It's basically got its stats reverted back to where it originally was, so it's going to hit like a nuke, but we have more things that can tank it potentially, so yeah. Next up plugin we have is Gobademic. I'm going to put this one in, I want to put it in D. So it's like pretty high D or very, very low C again, same like Rev9. Like, it's just quick. I still think Zulong does its job better. Zulong just hits harder. It does get hypnotized. Actually, no, it gets hypnotized. Probably C or B. Probably like very high C, like decent in B. It gets hypnotized. Well, it's the quickest thing now that gets hypnotized. So yeah, it can be very scary. I'm going to put it in C low. I definitely think I'm underestimating this one. And last up, I guess, is Ice Skull, which honestly, I want to put in C. It quad resists Type Plus now, which is great for it. It has Ice Skull Trap. The only thing that we're really missing from it now is a Bane of Haste, which also is Trick Room, which it can't get because Pharoglyph is the only thing with it, and you can't put any of them in the Rally Leader slot, which it has it coded in the game, it just can't get it. But yeah, I want to say very top D, very low C for Ice Ghoul. I do think Kimberlow is the superior ice type still. But anyway, with that being said, I think that is it. I'm sorry for this being a very long video. I want to try and go in depth on a little bit of things to explain why I personally think stuff, but other than that, there is my list. Again, I think some things I could probably edit a little bit. For example, I probably want to say I might have messed up with Duskit and the Hypnotize users, or also Exoglyphs Hypnotize as well, which might be interesting. I think Duskit could actually be like A tier for the fact that it gets Harmonized. I mean, it gets Mean-Spirited usage now with Hypnotize. So I might be a bit too harsh on Duskit. I might be a bit too lenient with Terrafly. I feel like Swalder is a better bug type to use. At least I might be a little bit biased because I love Swalder a lot. I just use Terrafly because it's easy babs for sweeps. Krakaloa I think is going to be great. I can't wait to use a Krakaloa again with this Crusader Mars. You might not really see it on everyone's team, but I'm going to love using this thing. This is going to be great. But again, I'm probably going to use Chariki as my fire type because Sedimars, I go try and take down Sedimars. Only, I guess Tata might potentially be like a threat, but again, if you're running the melee set, I don't know if it's going to hit super hard, we'll have to see. Other than that low, I think I'm a little harsh with its Eclipse. It could easily be in B, but I'm being a little harsh with it, and I know I am. I'm just going to leave it there because there's quite a lot of things that can actually deal with it. Sea Knight beats it, Valkyrie beats it, Tatab, I guess, could swap into it and also eat the secret ability here because it's immune to it now. Which I'm pretty sure it works like that. Since it also its secret ability is light and dark type, I'm pretty sure Luminous Raw is still absorbed by all the plant types. They don't take any damage for it being part plant. So Tatab, I think, will be able to like take it down. Basically, like all of the plant types that are fairly bulky can now swap into it safely. Gastro can swap into it safely, and also what's going to Raging Howl? It's a Gastro. What are you going to do to it? A little bit of damage and take a little bit of recall? It's not really going to work. So it's basically like plant types are going to come in, scare it out, and especially like I said with like stuff like Terrafly, if you can safely get a Terrafly in, it's going to get that ambush boost, which is going to hit super hard. But again, I don't know, I might be overestimating Terrafly. But that is basically it for the PvP Loomians, all of them. I don't think I missed any. If I did, oof. Again, let me know what you guys think. This is like a two-sided thing. I tell you my opinions for these things as you guys ask me a lot, and I want to hear your guys' opinions. I feel like in this video, I definitely were a little bit harsh with things like A, for example. Definitely more things can go into A. I'm just being a little bit harsh with them because, again, I don't really know because I don't have the mean-spirited Dusky, so I don't really know how hard it's gonna like hit, how super it's gonna be. Chariki, I think could actually be A. So for the ones that I think I'm a little harsh with really quickly is Dusky, Chariki, I think could easily be A tier. Or very low A tier, and I want to say like maybe Your Soul could slide into there, but again, I think that's just because I'm a little bit biased towards Your Soul because I really want to use it. So yeah, but anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you think is actually going to be the best Loomians in the game? I mean, it's going to be interesting. Like I said, I'm going to do a PvP video today using Cinamaroon, explaining why it's so good, just for people that want to use it, I guess. I wonder why I'm running it. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, and I know people are saying Volcaloa needs a buff, and the rats need a buff. The rats will probably get a reverted of their old secret abilities so they can hit 10% harder. And with that change, I actually want to do another change of their secret ability and also give them the ability to bypass Eclipse's secret ability. Also, it's going to suck for Eclipse, but I think for the rats, I think it only really makes sense for that they're all the same evolutions of the Twilight, so I think it could benefit it. So obviously, the secret ability to Eclipse eats all dark and light type moves, not that it is immune to it, and on top of that spirit types, which is also still pretty good. Actually, I'm probably a little bit too harsh on this, it probably is B tier to be honest, but with the other rats, like going through that ability and just ignoring it, I think it could be pretty good. I don't think they'll boost too high, because again it's only for one Loomian, but I think reverting their old abilities is a step in the right direction. The only really thing that they really need is just a lot of coverage moves, which it will get later down the line. Anyway, with that being said, I'm probably not going to touch Volcaloa, just for the fact that when it does get a really strong fire type move like Blaze, I was going to say Blaze Crash, no, like Flare Blitz, I think it's going to be really, really strong, and I feel like it should be a glass cannon. Maybe a little bit of a speed boost might be decent, or maybe a bit of a melee attack. I don't think I'm going to increase the defenses though. I think it's probably more suited as a glass cannon, but again, it probably won't really be like see much usage until very late game once it actually does unlock stuff like Flare Blitz, which I think would be really hard hitting. So yeah, I don't know. I'll see how it goes in the next few updates. If it doesn't really improve like in usage, I guess I could potentially like touch up a couple of its stats, maybe give it something that might potentially help it. We don't know. Again, there's also moves I can get as well, not just a stat change. Anyway, with that being said, I think that is it. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys next time.